I love you.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Somebody call heaven, because they're missing an angel. I'm just glad that mean old lady had a stroke and died in this car. I got it for 500 buckaroos at her estate sale.
That's so weird and upsetting. Who is he even talking to? I don't even like Nissans. Who cares? Please just be supportive of a friend for once. Just smile and say something nice like,
"This is the best car I've ever seen."
We're gonna start a whole family, Mrs. Carr. We're gonna have a baby car, depressed teenage boy car, a bitchy mother-in-law car.
oh, he's talking to the fucking car? Oh, that's so cringe. I wish I was back in my apartment in the city. Dude, this is your friend. You don't have many left. What would therapy Mike say?
Say, Phil, you mind if I hop in and get a gander at that sweet Rogue interior?
You're so fucking gay, dude. Gay is cool now. Just be a nice gay guy who supports his friends. Go take a gander at the car.
The interior of my car is so sit-inable.
That's so weird. This is actually not bad.
Winter came in a gust of brisk wind, blowing snowflakes from the north. Shining stars and downtown lights are turning on to bring you warmth. Frosty crystals from the rooftops, bells along the way. Oh, what a joy around us on Christmas Day. Bring some garlands, bring some
Yes, sirree, Bob. I'm in love.
This is Haunted Car Kills Everybody podcast. Your one-stop shop of horrors, wherein your two grease monkey mechanics, Michael Vroom Vroom Benton and Philip AA Beep Beep MCO Shadburn, guide you through our collection of muscle cars, wimpy minivans, and evil haunted ghost Plymouths. From the blood-soaked shores of Elm Street to the underrated classiques of John Carpenter, this podcast leaves no film unmurdered. I am Michael.
And I'm Philip.
It is a Plymouth, right? I got that right, didn't I?
It's a 1958 Plymouth Fury.
It's a Plymouth Fury. It's a Plymouth Fury, okay? Fury Road. It's a movie reference. That's what we're about over here.
They have cars in the wasteland.
For the next few weeks, we're answering the most important question of all here on the POD. We're answering WWJCD. What would John Carpenter do? Okay. And I'll tell you what he'd do. He'd make a dang old good movie.
He'd do a Stephen King adaptation.
In this particular episode, it just might. Now, this week's episode, speaking of that, is all about the great film director, composer, and weed-smoking video game enthusiast, John Carpenter. But first, be sure to smash that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on John Carpenter Month here on the POD podcast, and check out all our weekly bonus content available at patreon.com/PMTM. We're covering stuff we can't legally do on YouTube. Child sacrifice, ripping the tags off of mattresses, and of course,
playing copyrighted music on our movie-themed radio show, Patreon Pirate Radio. All of it is available to you for the low, low price of $3 a month. Link is in the description. Phil, John Carpenter.
John Carpenter, the GOAT. Not the throat goat, but the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
But having said that, that's true, because throat goat, that is reserved specifically for Nancy Reagan. Okay, R.I.P. We stand a throat goat on this POD. But John Carpenter is just so fucking good that at filmmaking, that if he never got into movies, I feel like he would, say he was in a men's room. It's the 70s, somewhere at a truck stop. It's that hole in the wall. Big old fucking, one-eyed monster comes popping his head through. I think John Carpenter might have been up there, like Nancy Reagan level.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying he's a blowjob artist, okay? I think John Carpenter, he likes the vagina. I'm just saying, if there's... Maybe I'm the throat goat version of John Carpenter. Right?
Okay.
Okay? You don't know. All right?
I really don't.
Oh, I could suck you to death, mister. Okay, look, can we move on?
Yes.
Okay. So you and I have been dying to do this month on the POD for years. We are both huge John Carpenter fans, are we not?
We are probably the biggest John Carpenter fans in the world.
I can't think of a bigger John Carpenter fan.
We're bigger John Carpenter fans than John Carpenter is a John Carpenter fan.
Well, to be
it might be true.
Okay, Phil, to be honest, I'm sure there are bigger Michael Benton and Philip Shadburn fans than Michael Benton and Philip Shadburn.
Sure.
There are plenty of times I look in the mirror. That's what I mean. Yeah, there are plenty of times I look in the mirror, I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah. You're really going to go out like this, huh?
You're going to look like that. You're just going to look like fucking shit. Like me. I'm wearing sunglasses indoors. I'm a douchebag.
True.
No, fuck you. What I'm trying to do is channel my inner Arnie. All right? I've got a cool car, and now I'm just a cool motherfucker, dude. I wear sunglasses indoors because I'm so fucking cool.
And blind.
And I am blind. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I am horribly blind.
Yes.
Anyways, John Carpenter, let's discuss his filmography for a second, man. We got to set the table for the next month of PODing, okay? Dark Star, right? We're not going to do all of them in a row. I'm just saying, let's pick some of the highlights. He started out, his first feature length, made fresh out of USC, which he also produced and directed with his college buddy Dan O'Bannon. If you don't know who Dan O'Bannon is, he went on to write the script for Alien, and he also oversaw the visual effects and shit like that. Dark Star, never seen it, but I know it's basically I'm sorry?
Me neither.
Yeah, and I know that it's basically a parody of 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. That movie's so boring to me.
It's so goddamn boring. And then people like, what are you talking about? It's one of Kubrick's best. I'm like, no, it's not. That's A Clockwork Orange.
A Clockwork Orange? Did you ever see Barry Lyndon?
No, that's one I haven't seen that you keep telling me to see. I'm like, I'll get to it.
Would you see that instead of watching the fucking Goosebumps Haunted Mask movie over and over?
Yeah, it's just, something about it, man. Something about Goosebumps gives me
a hard-on.
STDs.
So one of his, I think his actual first true solo outing, John Carpenter, was Assault on Precinct 13. It's a pretty good single-setting 70s action thriller. We covered it way, way long ago on the POD, but it is... John Carpenter's not there yet. I'll just say that.
Yeah, he hasn't became John Carpenter. He's John Carpenter, but he hasn't became the icon John Carpenter.
Yeah, exactly. That's about to happen with his very next movie, where he hits pay dirt. 1978's Halloween.
Yes, sirree. And after that, It was just smooth sailing.
Until the 90s, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then he started kind of not being the best. But here's the 80s. You ready? Escape from New York, The Thing, Starman, Big Trouble in Little China, They Live. I mean, the dude's he's a fucking boss.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, he puts out The Thing, 1982. And while we look at it now and we're like, that's one of the fucking greatest horror movies ever made. Like
a masterpiece.
A masterpiece. 100% a genuine masterpiece. Critics didn't really think so. Audiences agreed with the critics. It was a flop. It was a failure. It was a big, fat, tittied little loser that nobody loves.
Which, did you know this? That's the reason he jumped right onto Christine.
Yes.
The producer of Christine is Richard Corbett.
Yep.
He worked with, I think he worked with Carpenter for a TV movie, like Look Who's Knocking or Someone's Knock kind of thing.
Yeah, someone's knocking on my back door, and it was
he asked John. He was like, "Hey, do you have like any ideas?" And I think it was Corbett was like, would you like to do a Stephen King or something?
Well, no, hold on. I can fill that in for you.
I'm getting a little wrong.
So Richard Corbett, he had worked with John Carpenter, and before that, he had already produced the TV movie adaptation of Salem's Lot. That's Stephen King's second novel. And he's like, dude, I just want some more Stephen King, right? Because he's the biggest, hottest author on the planet. When I say hottest, I mean most popular, and you've seen Stephen King, dude. Fucking hunker.
I mean, dude, his last name is King.
Yeah, and what do we stan?
Kings.
We stan kings, okay? I'm not pro-monarchy. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, if there was going to be one monarch, it's going to be the king, and fucking the guy's name's Steven. Like,
yeah.
So he's already hot shit in the world, right? He's got fucking Carrie, which was adapted by Brian De Palma into a kind of, not to be honest, I've never really liked that movie, but to be honest, I'm not a big fan of Brian De Palma. I think he's just too fucking goofy.
Didn't he do the Psycho remake?
No, that's Gus Van Sant.
Okay.
Yeah,
For some reason I thought, I don't know why.
No, he did. I mean, don't get me wrong. He did The Untouchables, and I love that movie.
Fuck yeah.
Even though it's somewhere between a serious movie and Dick Tracy level dumbass fucking costumes, but I still adore that movie.
Very, very pro cop. Where it's like, oh, I don't know, they sucked too around that time. I mean, they were not letting us get booze.
Yeah. What the fuck? They were like, yeah. I know. Yeah. Anyways, get back to Corbett's. He's like, hey, I need to make Stephen King stuff. You make Stephen King stuff, everybody's read the book, they're gonna show up and watch the movie. Goes to his buddy John Carpenter. Carpenter had just gone through The Thing flop, okay? It was a bit like The Thing flop, right? Okay? Zip flop. Nobody wanted it. Because, the American public at that time, they also weren't the throat goat.
They weren't ready.
It is so weird that The Thing was not a hit.
It really does. Like,
because it's
I was
so good.
doing my notes and stuff, and for some reason, I don't remember it. Not like I don't remember that it was a flop, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, it blows my dick. Okay.
Yeah.
It blows my dick. It blows chunks, which is what I call my dick.
And it also blows Chunk from the Goonies.
It also blows my boy Chunk. Okay, he's getting blowed. Okay, because the throat goat on the loose, dude. Is that the subtitle of this episode? Christine the throat goat.
Christine the throat goat.
Dude, yeah, she's like, my car will suck your dick, dude. That's how cool my car is. That's Arnie talking.
Now you'll die.
You're going to die. It's going to suck your dick off of your body, and you're going to bleed to death immediately.
But you're going to die a happy, screaming man.
Oh, dude. Nothing better. You get your dick sucked at Phil. Imagine, dude.
Oh yeah.
A car exhaust pipe sucking your wiener off.
While a song is like in the background, that's like doo 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 wop 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 doo 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 wop
I
wop
know.
wah, 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 wah.
There's something about Stephen King and John Carpenter also. It's the boomer thing, right? Where to them, just bullshit ass 50s rock and roll is like the coolest thing on the earth.
It's like the peak rock and roll, and it's like I don't know. I'd go like later '60s when like
Oh, your Zoom kind
well,
of
like even a little bit before. But it's like because like all the shit like from that time was just like it was almost like kids bop.
Well, no, yeah, for sure, but it's also like when people, and you do this because you're just like a lame white man, whereas I'm like a super cool semi-Latino dude.
Okay.
You're like, dude, I love hip hop from the '80s. Fuck that. Let's all be honest. Hip hop from the
90s.
'80s sounds like shit. '90s, exactly, dude. You can even start 1991. And shit like that, but I don't want to hear some 1985, hey, who, what you gonna know? Like, fuck that. It's nonsense. But anyways, to get back to it, John Carpenter's career is actually on the fucking ropes in early 83. And Stephen King has a new book coming out. As what blew my mind when I was looking this up, and my buddy Chunk from the Goonies, major studio champing at the bit. They want a Stephen King thing, right? John Carpenter, he's sort of on the outs because nobody liked The Thing, right? Or was it Corbett or Orbit? Obits? Corbett's.
It's Corbett's.
Corbett's goes to the mat for Carpenter. He's like, look, hook up this dude who made Halloween one of the most, at the time, and for decades after, Halloween was the most successful independent film ever made, I believe, until Paranormal Activity. Okay? It just like...
So that's a long time.
Yeah. Oh, God. I think 26 years, 30 years, something like that. Yeah. Okay. Fact check me. But I think that's what it is. So they were like, he was like, look, Corbett's was like, listen, you get this guy, you hook him up with a Stephen King fucking adaptation. It's just going to be fantastic. It's going to be sparks are flying. Biggest movie of all time. He sells them. They bought it in the room. Now, Stephen King is still writing Christine while these conversations are happening, okay?
That's fucking funny.
Yeah, I know. It's so wild. But remember, Stephen King was that big. They were like, I don't care what the book is. I don't, sight unseen. I want to make a movie out of that book.
Yeah.
Okay. Christine comes out at the end of April 1983. The film adaptation starts filming 2 days after the book is published. Right? It's not like it's now hold on for anybody listening. It's not like the book comes out, John Carpenter finds it at the bookstore, reads it,
I know.
calls all of his friends. No, of course they got the early manuscript and all that kind of stuff. There's major differences we're going to get to in a second, but it's just wild to me. But look, let's set up the movie first and then start kind of taking it down. So Phil, we're zeroing in today. For John Carpenter Month, we're launching with Christine. A lot of people might go, why not Halloween? Why not The Thing? Why not They Live or a film Phil and I both are huge fans of, Big Trouble, Little Penis. Why not start with those, right? Because Christine's so underrated to this day, but I fucking adore the movie. It's so well shot. The soundtrack rips. We're going to be playing it this week on the Patreon, by the way. Again, patreon.com/PMTM. Link is in the description. Phil, what's the plot of Christine, though?
All right.
Okay, take your time. He's nervous. We've got a lot of new fans. Don't fuck
All
up,
right.
bro.
Okay.
Do you have the
A
plot?
boy's
Okay,
dream
sorry, hold on.
car.
Reset. Go again.
A boy's dream car becomes his nightmare.
Okay. Yeah, pretty much. I didn't ask what the synopsis for the plot was. I just said, what's the plot? And he gave me a slug line. It'll work. Phil, what was the budget, though?
It was $10 million.
That is the biggest budget John Carpenter, I think, had worked with up to that point. Is that correct?
I want to think so, because like we talked, Halloween was like an independent budget.
Yeah.
And I believe that was like under $1 million, right?
Thereabouts. I think it was 600,000. Again, it's been a minute. But again, this is Christine is Columbia Pictures. That's a big deal in that era. That's a lot of fucking money flowing in. So $10 million, not bad. Okay, so what'd it make?
21 million.
21 million?
21 million.
Not great. Phil,
Not
I know
great.
that literally sounds like more than doubling your budget.
You've got to make what, like
You have to make $1 billion.
4 times that? Oh, yeah.
You have to make Marvel numbers again. We're trying to reach out to the Marvel fans, okay? We're trying to extend the olive branch after years of talking shit about their stupid products. If your movie doesn't make at least $1 billion, you're a fucking loser, and it's not art. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Okay, people? I'm going to go Bill Maher here. Okay, people? Okay.
Art must
You're going in and out on the
art
Zoom.
must make billions of dollars.
Art must make billions of dollars. Jeff Bezos, greatest artist that ever lived.
Like Picasso.
Like Picasso, that broke fucking loser. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, I don't know, some other asshole, Soros or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, the other Buffett that's not dead but is old as shit.
Warren Buffett.
Yeah, there we go.
Who
Jimmy's
was,
brother.
That actually would make sense to me. Like one of them, straight-laced guy, just, I don't know, does hedge fund stuff all day, and then the other one's like, fuck that, man.
Lives on a boat.
Yeah, I'm gonna get stoned, live on my daddy's boat, dude. I'm gonna sing songs about fucking mangoes and pussy, dude.
Yeah,
Margaritas and fucking gash, my baby. Okay, that's.
Oh yeah, yeah. He talked about that too.
No, it makes sense to me. Okay, so it doubled its budget, but that's not great. How did it do with the old Rotten Tomatoes? What did they say?
Well, you're going to like the number, but you're still going to disagree.
69.
69, brother. It made it 69.
Is it really 69?
Yeah, it did.
I totally disagree. Look, if we just made it to where the top number wasn't 100, it was 69, that's a great number for this movie.
Yeah.
Having said that, well, we'll give our review at the end, but I will say I totally do disagree with that. That is not cool.
Yeah, I do too.
That's not cool. What'd the audience give it?
Well, to do a Nintendo pun, it made a 64.
I don't understand. I don't get the pun.
Nintendo 64.
Nintendo. Oh, when you were, that's a video game console or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
well, when you were like busy doing that stuff, I was working out in my backyard and getting tons of Tang, dude.
You really were.
I was getting so much Tang, dude. It's nuts.
Yeah, your mom kept pouring Tang in a glass for you.
Well, my dad was an astronaut. Okay?
Yeah.
He was an
For
astronaut.
butts.
For what?
For butts.
Okay. All right.
Cigarette butts.
No. Oh, well, that's very true. He was a smoker, and I took after him.
Mike, look at all these cigarette butts I found outside. I'm going to smoke them. Where'd you find those, Dad?
I remember the first time I saw my dad with no cigarette anywhere near him exhale and smoke that was trapped in his lungs came out, and I just about fucking screamed.
That's funny.
I just was like, what is Dad a dragon? It's like, nope, Dad smokes like a fiend. Okay, so we're going to give our review in a second, but suffice it to say, I do think it deserves a higher thing than the audience always pisses me off with this shit, but I think the audience score and the Rotten Tomatoes score should be considerably higher, let's say. So
I think so.
Phil, very quickly, because who gives a shit, the cast. Just list them off so we can move on.
All right. We have Keith Gordon as Arnie Cunningham. You might know him as Jason Mellon in Back to School.
Can I say one thing and we got to move on?
Yeah.
I have always had a crush on him.
Really?
I know, because he's not that good looking. He's just a dork.
No.
I know, he's like a pale little dork, but I figured out today, rewatching Christine, what it was. It's not from Christine, even though I still think even though his friend is way cuter, let's be honest. No, it was from Back to School when he was in his swim fucking Speedo, dude.
Okay.
When you're a little fat little gay kid, dude. I remember I had a Stretch Armstrong and I was watching that movie and I just juiced him, dude. I was just he's so cute.
The scene in the movie where Rodney Dangerfield is getting a massage, I was like, that's the body I want. That's what I want. And I got it. I'm 36.
I'm so proud of you. You got there decades ahead of them.
Yeah. Hey, all you got to do is drink and smoke. Oh, shit, he did it quick.
Tugging the tie. All right, so who else is in this?
John Stockwell as Dennis Gilder. That's Arnie's best friend and former football hunk.
God, he's so
He's
cute.
in Top Gun as Lieutenant Cougar Cortell. Yeah, you probably don't remember him, I don't think. I kind of don't either. I'm like, oh, the guy in the sunglasses with the blonde hair. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there was only one of them. Go on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Alexandra Paul as Lee Cabot, the new girl in town.
The new girl. Okay, sure. Zoe Deschanel style, bro. Yeah.
One of our favorites, Robert Prosky as Will Darnell, the mean old garage owner. That's not that mean, but in the book, he's a piece of shit.
Well, no, hold on. Nobody writes mean piece of shit, drunk, chain-smoking, asshole side characters like Stephen King in the 80s, dude.
Yeah.
And about Robert Prosky, real quick, one of the great character actors, very unsung hero.
Yes.
And if you want to see that dude absolutely fucking own every scene he's in, see Michael Mann's 1981 crime classic, Thief.
God, please.
My fucking God. I was on TikTok earlier because that's all I do now is just poop and watch TikTok. And it was some guy going underrated crime movies that you need to see, you know, Friends of Eddie Coyle, stuff like that from the 70s. And then he goes, Thief. Nobody knows this movie for some reason. Absolutely see it. Highly recommended from this show. We will find a way to do that one day soon. But
visuals.
Like
that fucking beginning with that band Tangerine Dream.
Everything about it, man. Everything about it. For real. We're going to have to re-listen to that soundtrack someday soon for people, too, on the Patreon. But go on.
Okay. Another favorite. Harry Dean Stanton as Detective Rudy Junkins. They could have just said Rudy Jenkins. They're like, nah, we'll call him Junkins.
I guess because of, like, Junkyard?
I guess so.
That's fucking stupid. Don't have pun names in your movie unless you really fucking earned that.
As Arnie's mommy, we have Christine Belford as Regina Cunningham.
Christine? It was the evil car itself?
Yes, she was also an actor.
Oh, they just put a wig on her and some B cups. All right,
yeah,
now
like, beep, beep, beep. I'm not happy about you getting this car. That's me.
Okay. Anyways, move on. Is that it for the cast?
Robert Blossom as George LeBay, the brother of the former owner of Christine, Rowland. Robert Blossom was Old Man Marley in Home Alone. The guy's like, he's scared. And it's like, actually, he lost his daughter, asshole.
Oh, my God, that's right. Hold on. Did he lose his daughter? I thought it was that him and his son had a falling out because he used to be a drunk.
It could have been that. I don't know. I'd have to go back to Home Alone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it was because you got to have the father-son angle. Father-daughter doesn't work as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why that is. You know, it's probably just patriarchy. Go on. I'm so mad now. Shut up. Go on. I'm so upset.
Okay. we have William Ostrander as Clarence Buddy Ripperton, the main bully, with the Glenn Danzig meets Wolverine hair. Meets John Travolta.
For sure. For sure. I love 80s bullies because they were always just like, you're a fucking queer. So, that's it. That's all they do is they just like shoulder check you in the hallway by your locker and they just go, you're gay. And I fucking secretly fucking want to kiss your fucking beautiful lips, Cunningham.
And I'm going to do these last three quick. We have Malcolm Danare as Peter Moochie Welch. He's the fat one that looks like Artie Lang.
Go on.
Who also grabs Dennis's dick in like the shop room.
He's one of the. That's what boys do. I told you. Look, Philip, if you finally move to Midtown Atlanta, like I keep asking you, you'll find that most bars you go into, the guys are hanging out and they're grabbing dicks. It's what the boys do.
Oh, yes, that's how you say hi in the city.
More than you'd think. More than you'd think. Go on.
Okay. You're going to know this guy, Stuart Charno as Don Vanderberg, another bully. He was in Friday the 13th Part 2 as Ted, the redhead spaz that lives.
God. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I was always mad. I was like, why didn't they kill him off? He sucked. I hated him.
Yeah, they changed it. Dude, I know you're not a big fan of 2, but they did a lot of work in Baghead Jason.
I like 2. What are you talking about?
You don't like 2. You hate that 10-minute opening.
Who doesn't?
I like it. I like seeing Adrienne King again. She's my favorite scream queen outside of Heather Langenkamp. Go on.
All right, and last but not least, we have also, rest in peace, Kelly Preston as Roseanne, the chick that likes Dennis.
Okay, the chick who likes Dennis. Okay, goddamn, we got to get you a better internet. Your Zoom was kind of choppy for a second, but I heard you. Okay, look, we got the cast. All right, everybody's on board now. Phil, this movie, man. This movie, you know what I mean? It's a lot of movie.
It is a lot of movie.
A lot of movie. So, Phil, I think you've actually read the book, right?
Yeah, it was. I read it in 2020. I was at work and I was like, I'm tired of just looking at my phone all fucking day. So I'm like, all right. So I came home one day and I looked at the big, the
Penis
books I
in your face.
haven't read yet. And I was like, well, I have Christine. I'll get it. So I read it. I mean, it took me a while.
You read it, but you were supposed to be reading Christine.
Oh, no. I was on Reddit.
Oh, you were on Reddit and you just like were like, what? Okay, what do people think of Christine the book?
Yeah,
Smart.
So I was still on my phone. Sorry.
So you read Christine.
Yeah, it took me a while because I was only reading it while at work when like I had the time because like I'd come home and be like, I'm not gonna read at home.
Sure.
Yeah,
Who wants to read at home? Ick. That's when you're supposed to be fucking pounding brews, bro.
Yeah. You only read in your car or at libraries.
Yeah, well, you only read in your car driving very fast on the highway.
Speed reading.
Yeah, because you taped Tesla over the Dodge Ram emblem.
Yeah, it'll figure it out.
That'll smarten them up. Okay.
If the remake to Christine that they're supposed to do is like a Tesla, I'm gonna fucking shit.
Oh, we should talk about that. They are doing a Christine remake. I believe it's Blumhouse. It's one of those ones where, okay, so a lot of times with remakes of like classics, I go, why? Why remake it? Having said that, Christine has gotten such short shrift when it comes to discussing like 80s horror or when you're just discussing John Carpenter classics. Like you and I, we talk about Carpenter on the show all the time. We don't always remember to say Christine. We've both seen it. I've seen it since I was a kid. I love it. But so I hope Blumhouse does a good job. I know they just made that Five Nights at Freddy's, which is supposed to be absolutely shit.
Yeah, my wife loves it. I watched it. I mean, I like it, but it was fine.
I'll never know what you mean when you say you like something because you still watch New Simpsons. So I don't take your
But
okay.
I also watch the new Simpsons, and I'm very, very critical of it. By the way, I'm
Why
not
are
like,
you
oh my God, it's so
watching
much
it?
better. I like the one with Lady Gaga.
Phil, why are you watching New Simpsons? It doesn't make sense to me. You like it's literally been bad twice as long as it was good.
It's been good.
So why do you watch it? It doesn't make sense to me.
Sometimes you just can't let shit go, brother.
That is so odd. Oh my God. The Simpsons, my favorite show ever. I let go after 4 bad seasons. Like in 2004. I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah. I think with me, because I stopped like you did, and then when I got Disney Plus, I was like, well, they have all these, and I just started like putting them on to do the dishes, just going, no.
Oh, so you're like hate watching it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do that too. I do that with other things. I do that. Yeah. I mean, dude, when I was a kid, or like 18, and I was still living with my parents, I'd fucking just get super stoned in my bedroom and watch Bill O'Reilly. And I hate Bill O'Reilly, obviously, but I would watch it and I'd be high as shit, just going, whoa, this dude sucks. you know? Anyways, okay, so Phil, what would you say, having read the book, I never read Christine, what would you say are some of the big kind of key differences between the book and the movie?
Okay, well, in the book, Christine the car is not a sentient being. It's actually the spirit of Roland.
That's right. I read that. Okay.
Who? Yeah.
Well, I guess the
Roland
thing
LeBay,
for the thing for the movie is that it wasn't like some soul trapped inside of a car, which actually makes more sense for what the movie is.
Really does.
For what the story is in general, both book and movie, it makes more sense. And like an angry spirit trapped in their old car, that makes a lot of sense. But in the movie, it's getting built at the factory. He hears George Thorogood, and he's immediately just fucking pissed off that he had to hear lame white guy blues.
Yeah, see, because I was angry because when I opened the book to the first page, I didn't hear da-na-na-na-na.
How fucking cool would that have been, dude? It has like one of those little. It has one of those like chip things that they have in birthday cards. You just press it and it just plays it while you read.
And there's no factory scene, so I'm like, hang on. It's like, dude, it's not the movie like book, which they didn't make obvious.
The novelization, sure, you can't do that.
but yeah, it's the spirit of Roland, who was a pretty messed up dude. He was this dude that was like, the world's always against me. They're a bunch of shitters, which is, since I was watching that for the last couple of days, like as a joke, I'm like, bunch of shitters.
I actually like that.
I do like that term, shitters.
Yeah, instead of like I gotta go to the shitter, it's just like, oh, my boss is such a fucking shitter. He's a whack job. He's a fucking shitter. He's a cocksucker. Just sort of like classic New England heavy chain smoking fucking weirdo type insults.
So Roland was one of these like when he was like a kid, would torture like the neighborhood animals kind of guy, and was very mean to his brother George.
Georgie?
And it's the King verse.
Georgie Porgy. Oh well, hopefully he's floating.
I would hope so.
God damn, we're gonna have to do an It parody where you're going to have to be It. You're gonna have to be Pennywise.
Okay.
Yeah. But we're gonna do no, fuck that. We're gonna do the book version where you're just a giant turtle, like interdimensional turtle.
All right, hey man, I'm like planet Earth or whatever.
All right, so go on with the differences, though.
Yeah, so Roland, of course, was an ass. He actually, his like 6-year-old daughter was choking on a hamburger in the back seat, and he just acted like he was trying to stop her from choking and lets her die in it as a sacrifice to the car because he loved it so much.
Yeah, because he's gone insane from his love of this car, right?
Yeah, then his wife died in it. He did something, and then he was the guy, and then he was like, I'm going to die in this car, and my spirit will embellish it. So, yeah, he did the old carbon monoxide thing.
Sure. Okay. What other major key differences? I don't want to hear any little fucking things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, boy,
well,
what do you got?
Remember at the end of the movie, besides the car compactor,
God,
they
I love
used the bulldozer?
Yes.
Well, guess what? No. In this, it's a pink septic truck named Petunia that's also sentient, which is like the superhero truck of the book that kills Christine.
I like that. I actually like that.
Yeah.
Like some.
Well, it's a Stephen King twist.
That's what I mean. Like some cute little fucking just innocuous vehicle kills the big baddie. I love that. That's fucking David versus Goliath right there.
Yeah,
dude.
but like John Carpenter was like, yeah, that's too much to throw in.
Okay, so we got to jump in. I got to jump in real quick. Not only did John Carpenter not like the book, he didn't find it scary at all, and has said for years, even when he was promoting the movie, this is not a personal project. This is literally a gig for me. I'm trying to save my career by doing a Stephen King adaptation. Yeah. He didn't want to do it. For all I know, he's not a huge fan of Stephen King, even though I think they're friendly with each other.
Yeah, because he did, what's that movie we don't like? In the Mouth of Madness was kind of like, the Kane guy was supposed to be like Stephen King.
It's supposed
like
to
a nod.
Basically a nod to Stephen King, and it's also obviously a reference to I almost said H.L. Mencken. What the fuck's the writer's name?
H.P. Lovecraft.
H.P. Lovecraft, yeah. You don't know who H.L. Mencken is anyways, relax.
I don't know who that is, but I was correcting you because there was another H.
That's right. Do you know what H.P. stands for in H.P. Lovecraft?
Hewlett Packard?
Hairy pussy. Close.
Huge problematic?
Hugely problematic. Okay, use your adverbs.
Sorry, I'm stupid.
You're not stupid. I like how you didn't say the R word, and I appreciate that. We're trying to be a family show now. Okay.
I didn't say ridiculous.
You didn't say ridiculous. That's the R slur. That's right. Okay. Okay. So, any other key differences, real quick, before we move along?
Okay. Yeah. So at the end fight, there's no Arnie. It's just Dennis and Lee. They learn after Christine is killed. Well, also keep in mind when they're killing the car and crushing it, the spirit of Roland's trying to leave. So it's like, like trying to get out of the car.
Wait, like literally like what? Like a spooky, like Casper the Friendly Ghost type specter is trying to get out of the engine or something?
Yeah. And so they think it does.
Hold on, shut up. Are you serious?
Yes. That was ridiculous.
There is something, that's the R slur. Don't say it. No, that is, there are things about Stephen King plots where it's just like reading it, great fun, but if you explain that to somebody, they're going to go, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I want to read this.
just some angry little ghost escaping a dying car, just like, oh my God, it was fucking hot in there. Like, what the fuck?
So you learn that Arnie and his mother were killed on the way to go to his college to move him in or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was going to Exeter, and he was going to finally, just like clean himself up and quit being evil with that car.
Yeah, it alludes to the spirit of Roland got into the car because the witnesses of the crash said it looked like a struggle and then a crash.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and then also Arnie's dad was killed by Christine in the book.
Now I'm bummed out. I hate to hear about dads getting killed by evil cars. You know what happened in my family.
Yeah, well, speaking of the parents...
Oh, hurry the fuck up. I'm not sitting here the whole goddamn episode while you explain the plot of the book.
Okay.
This better be a banger. or don't do it. I will get so upset at you.
The parents in the book were like a lot more strict, where they were almost abusive, to where it was like they had to control every aspect of Arnie's life.
So he gets a car. I mean, think about this. When you get a car, when you get your first car, well, you're from the South. So when you get your first truck, a lot of freedom right there, you know, and people like when you're a kid, you do love your car more than you ever will after that. Like every car I've had since the first car I got when I was 18, because I wasn't allowed to have one when I was 16, and it wasn't my parents. It was the judge in Gwinnett County who was like, hey, you're a little bit too much of a troublemaker. I don't know if I ever told you that. I wasn't allowed to drive a car till I was 18 or 19. And I finally got a Honda Civic EX, a 2000 Honda Civic EX, plum purple. Cheapest fucking car on the lot. I got it. It was like, you know, $2,200 or something like that. Loved that car. This is back in the day. You would fill that fucking thing up, right? It'd be like $16 to fill it up. You could drive endlessly for a week. It was the best car ever, dude. I still wish I had that fucking thing.
My first was like a 96 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Oh, my brother had that.
That we bought off of my brother, and it still smelled like cigarettes and had cigarette ashes in it.
Oh, really?
I was like, don't worry, I'll just keep adding to it.
Yeah, don't worry, Mom and Dad, I'm gonna smoke. Don't worry.
Yeah, I already do.
Yeah, exactly. You just don't know that, or you do, and you're too removed and distant as boomer parents to say a goddamn thing about it.
Yeah,
because you're too self-absorbed in your own bullshit to talk to your kids. All right, boomers, get together. That's a little too late. Anyways, are we done talking about the fucking differences?
Yes.
I want to talk about what ties us together, not what separates us, baby. All right? The world is at war, okay? And I want this show. I want Bibi, Netanyahu. I want the leaders of Hamas. I want Putin. I want all of them, because you know they watch. I want them to watch this and go, fuck. There's all these differences between the book Christine and the movie Christine. Yeah. I don't want to have differences with anybody anymore. They immediately, Putin calls Ukraine. He's like, hey, for real? My bad. Like, you kind of started it. He's like, you know, it's Putin. He's still a bitch. But, like, he's like, you kind of started it, but, like, I'll stop. How about that? I'm the bigger man.
Like, I know this is unrelated, but have you heard the movie podcast now? Where they talk difference in Christine.
He's like, well, yeah, I'm a subscriber to Movie Podcast Now Plus, is the leader of Ukraine. I am subscriber to Patreon. I love them. They're great. Their parodies are next to nothing is better than them. I think they're the best, and I love you, Putin.
And if that happens, we can change the name to the podcast to World Peace Movie Podcast Now Plus.
It still has to be plus. That's true, because we have a Patreon, goddammit. Yeah, and it's the streaming era. Okay, so we're going to save the world. We'll do that next week, okay? Yeah. So Christine is one of those movies that I feel like used to play on TBS a lot in the 90s. Do you know what I mean? Like Saturday horror matinees and then late at night.
It was TBS and TNT.
TNT for sure. And I used to watch the fuck out of this movie. I would rent it at Blockbuster on a Friday night. Like, there's something, man. Look, I know it's still great to eat a fucking shitty, Pizza Hut pizza, flat fucking crust, and just chill back and watch Christine via, whatever fucking app. But when you come back from Blockbuster, you know what I mean? You got a 2-liter of Sody Pop. You've got fucking Butterfinger BBs.
Yeah. Well, my grandma had the tape. She had like a whole collection of tapes when like me and the other cousins like stayed with her. And of course, like for most of the day, me and the other cousins like we'll be outside. Then we'd go in and like choose a movie. And it was always me and my cousin Josh and Jonathan would always be like, Christine, we're watching Christine. While they're like, no. It's like, no, we're watching Christine.
Yeah.
We're the older one.
We're the older ones. We win.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was always the baby in the family. I had no cousins to look up to. I had no, like me and
I
my,
don't look up.
just like everything in my life just has sucked.
Yeah. That's why you wear these cool sunglasses.
Like, well, it's just like I'm like, look, this is sort of, remember the summer of George? This is the fall of Mike. God, that sounds terrible.
George.
This is the rise of Mike. The rise of Mike. Okay, Mike rising. Okay.
Mike are we rising?
Mike, are we rising? Uh-huh. Wait a minute. Is that the Bruce Willis movie?
Yeah, with Miko Hughes as like the autistic kid.
Is the autistic kid? Yeah.
Like he knows something. The government,
I guess it's the movie that I love Bruce Willis, but I never saw that movie. That looked like shit to me.
I remember it just being on like cable television. I would tune in for like a minute, like this sucks.
Oh sure. So I wanted to talk about this real quick. Cunningham.
Mm-hmm.
He's bullied. His name is not Cunningham. It is Cunningham. That's his last name. Okay, it's Arnie Cunningham, Arnold Cunningham. If he was in church. But Phil, you and I had nicknames that sucked. Like you and I were basically the Arnie. Like Arnie is very relatable to me, dude.
Oh God, yeah.
Right, exactly. And this one especially kind of hit hard when I was rewatching it this time because I've been thinking a lot about like just kind of the past and stuff, and the nickname of Cunningham is genuinely great. That's a great shitty
it's
nickname.
Great. Like if I were a bully, I would be like, look at me, I'm a smart motherfucker.
Yeah. Whereas Philip, you and I were the bullied.
Yes.
And so I was called Frank. I had two nicknames. Okay, I was called Frankenstein by the black kids at school because my head is big. I have a big. They were right, and it is still one of the most clever nicknames I've ever had.
And you are a corpse that has been pieced by different
That is
bodies.
true, and I was brought back to life by a lightning bolt and all that. It is very true. It is very true. I'm sewn together from, I think it was a meter maid who died of arteriosclerosis, and a bunch of babies. Like people can't see my lower half, but I have baby legs. It's
it's weird.
Yeah, I'm very top heavy. I fall over, that kind of stuff. I was called Frankenstein. Shut the fuck up. I'm talking. Okay. Now you got me mad. Now I'm gonna bully you. I'm gonna call you what they called you at school.
What's new? Which episode have you not?
So, Phil, I was called Frankenstein because I had a big head. I was also called Fat Mexican because I was fat and I'm Latino. Phil,
slightly tanner than others.
And that's the other thing. I have somewhat olive skin.
I remember like my dad being like, "So I guess they're like Italian." I'm like, yes, I don't know.
A lot of people thought I was Italian or Mexican. Growing up, basically, if you're from anywhere else in the country, you got to know in Atlanta, you are not ever guessed to be, if you're of olive skin or Latino or Hispanic origin, you're never guessed to be Puerto Rican, Colombian, Costa Rican, any of the kind of stuff you see in other cities.
Even if you're like Dominican.
Doesn't matter. You literally could be all the things I just said. You could be Puerto Rican. That's not what they guess here. What the immediate guess is, he's Mexican.
It's probably because it's the closest, like...
It's just that's where Mexicans pulled up, was in Georgia and stuff like that. Look, I mean, like, Puerto Rico isn't close to New York City, but there's a shit ton of Puerto Ricans in New York City. But Phil, I was called Fat Mexican. I was called the S word, like a bunch of shit, right? It sucked. But Phil, what was your nickname?
Bitch hands.
That was the shittiest fucking thing. I was with them when they came up with it too.
Of course you were.
No, hold on. Shut the fuck up.
I was instigating.
It was not. Was I? I don't remember.
No.
Okay, good. Thank God. All right. Don't get me wrong. I've bullied and been bullied. When I was a kid, I was a piece of shit. But you were called bitch hands because they said that you had, soft little lady hands. But who doesn't want those?
I remember like also like there were people like calling me hick, and I was like, "You're from Georgia too, dickhead."
Yeah, that was always weird. That was always
Like
weird.
like even due to like accents, I'm like, dude, you're a hick too. You actually live in a trailer. I don't, so you're the fucking hick.
For sure, for sure.
I was a suburban redneck.
Yeah, you really were. Yeah, you grew up in the burbs for sure.
We
But
had a garage that was attached to our house.
yeah, you didn't have a carport.
It wasn't behind the house.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we were nerdy losers, Philip and I, and that's the whole thing. Is you find something super cool that gives you some meaning, and then you take it too far. So, like, if there was a moral to the Christine story, book or movie, it's kind of like don't derive personal meaning from objects. Like, don't just get a car, a house, another person. Like, I don't mean like to not love the things you own and people you have in your life, right? But like, I guess I mean like you gotta settle the problems in your head. You can't derive happiness from outside things. This is an obvious fucking point, but it's a pretty good message to have.
Yeah. It's that whole thing of like, don't make one certain thing your fucking personality.
Right. Especially these days where everything's just,
Hey.
I'm a Marvel person. I'm a politics guy. I'm an anti-woke idiot. I'm a fucking...
I want to suck the president's dick.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, hold on. The throat goat. That's the fucking whole point of this episode, Phil. If you're going to suck anybody's dick, it better be the president's.
Yeah. It'll be soft.
Oh, very soft and very small.
He won't even know.
Unlike Trump, who you know is packing like at least 15 inches.
Oh, yeah.
Just Trump fans
it
are
actually
eventually...
looks like one of the things off the thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, Trump fans eventually are just going to be like, yeah, dude, Trump's got a big dick and he fucks me with it, dude. He's so manly.
Yeah,
Anyways, so we're repealing gay marriage, like the fuck. Anyways, Phil, what do you give this movie? Out of 100, not 69.
I'm going to give it like an 80.
Give an 80?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Because here's the thing.
Okay.
I love John Carpenter, but it's actually not in my top 5. It very well might be 6.
I hear you. This is not his greatest movie.
No.
I think it is very underrated, but it's not his greatest by far.
It's also a very good Stephen King adaptation because there's really not that many. Especially like the fucking shit that was like the Tommy Knockers miniseries on USA and shit like that.
Yeah, there was a lot of bad adaptations for sure.
Because I remember like as a kid being like, oh, a Stephen King thing. I'm like, oh, wait, this is just like a 3-day thing we have to do tonight, Mom?
Well, no, that was most Stephen King things. Like The Stand, the TV series was fine, but it also kind of sucks, too. It's kind of boring for long stretches, to be perfectly honest with you.
I did like Needful Things.
Needful Things also kind of sucks, but I loved it as a kid. I agree, but it's not that great. I rewatched it a couple years ago. It sucks shit.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to like disagree with you. It's
no.
Not that
I
great.
know it's not like you're a fucking idiot. You always like bad stuff, and I'm like, well, I just said I haven't seen it in like.
No, you'll love it because you're an idiot who likes bad stuff. I'm just kidding. You left me. You were wide open. No, I love you.
Dynamic though.
I think we have a better dynamic than just me being mean to you.
No, I didn't mean that.
No, I think our dynamic
I like
is.
bad.
My favorite part of our dynamic is you talking over me.
Sorry.
You do it every goddamn episode, though. Maybe I should just.
Do you think that maybe we talk over each other?
Give me a second. No, hold on. Give me a second to think about it. Do we talk over each other? Like maybe it's like sometimes it's Philip talking over me when I'm saying something, and sometimes it's me talking over him when he's saying something. Nah, it doesn't make sense. Nah, it's all on you. I'm perfect. I give this man, I'm gonna give it like an 85. I'm going to give it an 85.
You know, you always got to one-up me.
All right, fine. I give it a 79. All right, you win this round.
All right.
No, I don't think I like it any more than you. I don't think it's necessarily. It's not a crown jewel in the John Carpenter collection, but I do really enjoy it. The fucking soundtrack is a banger.
Oh, the theme.
The theme is so good. We can't play it because of YouTube, but we will be playing that on the Patreon this week in its entirety and discussing it. But yeah, okay. So would you recommend this movie to a nerdy little loser who's looking for a car that he can run people over with?
100%. But I would say, listen, don't take this too seriously.
It's just a fucking movie, bro.
Yeah.
But it does go fast. It was built in the 50s, this car, so it will absolutely run over a lot of people and kill them immediately.
I will say something I didn't like about the movie was I love Harry Dean Stanton, but I was like,
He's kind of wasted.
White.
He's kind of wasted.
He was wasted. Like, and I also love he just shows up at the end. It's like, yep, that's a crushed car.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. Yeah, if you're gonna have Harry Dean in a movie, you got to have him a lot in that fucking movie. I agree. But look, join us next week on the show where we'll be discussing even more John Carpenter with 1982's horror classic, The Thing. We're going to do it, Phil. We're finally doing The fucking Thing.
Which we kind of talked about earlier on this episode.
Oh, yeah, but there's going to be a ton more to talk about next week. And remember to like and subscribe wherever you're viewing this or listening to it for the audio-only fans. And join us on patreon.com/PMTM, where we have tons of bonus content, early access to episodes, and hey, if you sign up, you'll get an executive producer credit right here, like these people on the screen right now. We'll see you next week, huh, Phil?
We'll see them next week.
We will see them next week. Well, how about this? They're going to see us.
We're going to see us, yes.
They're going to see all of us, dude.
Every inch.
Every fucking hairy, red, fucking blotchy, stinking inch.
Oh, they're going to see the interior.
They're going to see the interior of our anteriors, okay?
Yes, sir.
Or our posteriors. What's the word for butt? Bye.
Yeah. Ass. It's ass.
Oh, that's it. You're going to see the interior of our assholes.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.